We also have the splitting of the atom in 2 Peter 3, 10 through 12. The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heaven shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be dissolved. What manner of persons ought ye to be in the holy conversation and godliness, looking for the hastening coming of the day of our God, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. They had no idea when they were researching this notion of creating a nuclear bomb what the ramifications were going to be. In World War II, they had actually planned what they called X Day, in which bombs were going to be dropped and the U.S. military was going to be sent in immediately afterwards for a ground strike. This would have been disastrous for our people, for our soldiers. John Hersey, in his book Hiroshima, describes victims on the outskirts of the blast. It was several miles from ground zero. And they were somehow able to survive, but their flesh was severely burned. Their eyeballs had melted. They could not speak. They had no tongues and had an unquenchable thirst. A visual depiction of what happens is actually in a movie, Terminator 2. You have the female character Sarah Connor being hit with radiation from a nearby bomb in a dream. And what you see is said to be very accurate, although slowed down a little for dramatic effect. It is said of the people at Ground Zero in Hiroshima and Nagasaki that when the bomb hit, they vaporized and just left behind nothing but white ash. The flesh simply vanished. It in a split second just melted off their bones, and their bones were gone too. We find this exact description in the end times prophecy of Zechariah 14:12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Now, even though the word plague is usually intended to refer to some kind of widespread disease, the word plague does not always refer to disease. Okay? It is used in Numbers 25, 1 through 8 of God's judgment on Israel without any mention of disease. It's used in 2 Samuel, different guy. 2 Samuel 18:7, it was translated as slaughter to describe the overwhelming defeat of Absalom's forces. So when it says plague, it's not always a disease. It's definitely a judgment. And it could be a nuclear weapon. This is definitely something that would cause that exact kind of phenomena. The after effects of a nuclear bomb, flesh consuming away while the person is still standing. Eyeballs melting, tongues melting. It's what happened at Hiroshima. Could this be a nuclear weapon that Zechariah is describing? Could be. Today we know that when atoms are split, elements depart from each other. There would be an enormous release of heat and energy in the form of radiation. This is what's going to happen to the entire universe when God stops sending energy in every atom. Fervent heat, melting elements. And some say we don't need God.